What if beating bosses wasn't about what you bring to the fight, but how barebones you can go and still succeed? This is the Downgrade, a series where I start geared to the teeth, then drop the crutches and keep the kills coming. No max gear, no excuses. Proving it's not the gear, it's the player. In the heart of the wilderness, past cursed gates and burning walls, the King Black Dragon reigns. Since 2002, his lair has swallowed countless adventurers, the test of fire that defined a generation. His chamber is littered with the ashes of the unprepared. Adventurers walk in brave and leave only bones behind. Most arrive with every safeguard, anti-fires, shields, and layers of protection. But that's not what we're doing here. Today, I face the KBD in his lair. Then with each kill, the safety comes off. No max gear, no backup plan, and no excuses. Just me and the dragon. Let's see how little it takes to stand against the king. Alright, what's going on guys? It's Vince, and welcome back to episode 7 of the Downgrade. Today we're throwing it back a little bit. We're going to be killing the King Black Dragon, which a little bit of a fun episode instead of the more mechanically difficult and demanding episodes, but back in 2002, they didn't even have overhead prayers and I think only dragon weapons, so definitely going to get a little bit challenging. We're going to push the limits of this boss, but ultimately nothing crazy mechanics-wise. Gear-wise, again, we are in the wilderness, so I don't bring like crazy gear. I even do a protect one item. These are my 4 items that are like actual best in slot. But overall, if we had a PK skull active, we're at a 280 mil setup. But with everything that we got, we're not risking too much. But we are using a 280 mil setup with the Ultor ring, the Rancor amulet, Dragon Hunter lance, and the Nezi face guard. Taking a look at DPS for the first kill, our DPS is 6.6 with an average time to kill of just 38.6 seconds and a max hit of 51. So not too bad at all for the first kill. It's gonna be pretty chill, and I'm sure you could probably get that time down even further if you were willing to risk some of the gear. But we're gonna go down the ladder. I guess we'll do a private instance. I really don't feel like dealing with people crashing me. And for this one, you're gonna do protect from magic, drink your super extended super anti-fire, your antidote, and your super combat potion. And this guy's gonna go down no problem. So no mechanics for the first kill, no mechanics really this entire episode really, except eating food later on. But we're gonna let him stab down the boss. Again, this boss is 23 years old at this point, which is crazy to think about. It's actually coming up on the 23-year anniversary in a couple days, you'll see. But it doesn't take long to kill King Black Dragon in the gear that we have nowadays. So just about the end here. We'll see. It's probably going to be like 45 seconds or something stupid. If I can hit. Come on. And there you go. No problem. You can do hands off the keyboard kind of thing. Yeah, 42 seconds for the first kill. Didn't eat a single piece of food. Nothing crazy. I'll teleport to my house. But it'll definitely get a little bit harder as we drop our gear in terms of how often we get hit. But you see, very easy boss, and if you have like a lance, I would say you're more than good. So let's go to kill number 2 and I guess make it a little bit harder. All right, back for kill number 2. We downgraded basically those 4 items that were all pretty high in value. So the Rancor is now an Amulet of Fury. The Ultor ring is a Berserker ring. Our Dragon Hunter lance is an Osmumten's Fang, which is like significantly cheaper. And then our Nezi face guard is just the Helm of Neteznot. So nothing crazy, but our stats did drop. Let's take a look at our price check real quick. It looks like we went from like a 280 mil setup down to a 28 mil setup. So nothing crazy, but it is now 1/10 of the cost, which is nice if you're on a budget. Not that you're going to make any money at KBD, but if you want to go kill it just for fun, you know, it's a lot cheaper. So let's look at the DPS and compare it to last time. Our max hit went down from a 51 to a 41, so 10 less. pretty substantial there. The DPS went down from a 6.65 to a 5.92, so basically a whole 0.6 DPS, which I guess is significant. It's still going to be a really easy fight. And then, the time to kill, I mean, it went up from 38.6 seconds to 42.8 seconds, so a difference of, what is that, 4 seconds? So, I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, nothing. Let me hide that. We'll keep that on screen like we always do. But, yeah, I mean, that setup I had last time is definitely more than enough to get the job done, but for a tenth of the cost, this is a no-brainer. Get yourself a Fang and just come in here and do whatever you want. I'm going to pay for a private just because I don't feel like dealing with it. So, same thing as last time. I'm going to drink my Super Combat pot. I was messing around and just bank standing, so I'll drink my Anti-Fire again and my Antidote again, because why not? And we're going to protect Mage and throw Piety on, and you're going to see he goes down real quick. So, sit here and just stab him to death. He can, I guess, technically hit you with melee since you're protecting Mage, but we're chilling enough where we can just sit here and do nothing. So you'll see it's a little bit slower. We might actually get lucky and just beat our last kill's time. I'll eat just to be safe. You're gonna notice too in this episode, the main factor is literally just gonna be eating. So I mean, you can do a kill without overheads, but you're just going to eat your whole inventory of food. It's ridiculous. Now, maybe we won't beat our last time. I don't know. Depends. The Fang's pretty accurate. The Fang might actually be more accurate than the Lance. You might just be better off. No, okay. It took a little bit longer. So that one took 58 seconds compared to our last one, 42 seconds. So it added about 16 seconds, but for a tenth of the value, I mean, this setup is just way better than what we had before. So let me downgrade it pretty significantly, and we'll have a little bit more fun with this boss and see what limits we can push. All right, guys, back for kill number 3. We've gotten rid of our Osmumten's Fang in favor of a Dragon Sword, so that should be pretty fun. We're gonna do a little price check real quick. 5.5 mil, so nothing crazy here. The setup is literally just the Berserker ring. I think it's like, yeah, 4.7 mil. It's like under a 1 mil setup if you don't include the Berserker ring. But no, we got rid of the Barrow's gloves for some Mithril gloves. Our Osmumten's Fang is a Dragon Sword, and our Torture is now an Amulet of Glory. So, looking at our DPS, our max hit went down from a 41 to a 37. So, nothing too crazy, which is kind of surprising considering we had a Fang, but the DPS went down pretty heavily this time, from a 5.9 down to a 3.3. And the time to kill went up from 42 seconds to 75 seconds. So it added about 33 seconds there. I'll leave that up for you guys like always. This is going to be a little bit more of a fight considering the DPS is down that far. We're going to have to eat a lot more. Also, I made a mistake by praying Mage. I guess you're just supposed to pray melee and just do the extended Super Anti-Fire. So I'll be praying melee for this fight, and for the remainder of the kills, I guess we'll eat that. We'll top off here. But yeah, this fight is definitely going to take a little bit longer. Again, nothing like super crazy, but we will probably have to eat a little bit. And even if we don't, it's still going to be just a longer fight in general. So I'll speed it up for you guys. You don't have to sit here and watch it. And we'll compare the times. Alright, coming down to the end of the kill. Funny enough, we didn't have to eat any food other than like the angler that we ate before the start of the fight. I think if you protect melee, you really are just fine for King Black Dragon. We might take some damage later on, especially if we get rid of the overheads, but as long as you have some form of like anti-fire and you just pray melee, you're good. So minute 42. This one did take a little longer. You actually do hit decent with the Dragon Sword, funny enough. but obviously it's going to take you a little bit longer than before. I think we had like, yeah, it was 58 seconds before. This added almost a minute at 1 minute and 42 seconds, but we got it done with just a dragon sword. Nothing crazy. Again, the main thing was the berserker ring that costed money in this setup. So let me downgrade it a little bit worse, like considerably worse, and we'll see if this boss can start to kind of challenge us at all. All right, we're back for kill number 4. I got rid of our dragon sword in favor of a mithril sword. It's gonna be pretty bad. And then our armor is now all steel. Additionally, I got rid of our dragon boots and put on some climbing boots, and then I got rid of our berserker ring entirely, so we have no ring. In terms of cost, we have 156k, so literally like next to nothing. And then DPS wise, our max hit went down from a 37 to a 23. The DPS went down from a 3.3 to just 1.4. So really bad DPS this time around. And then the average time to kill went up from 75 seconds, so a minute and 15 seconds, all the way up to 171 seconds, or just under 3 minutes. So knowing our luck with having to eat, it will probably take a little over 3 minutes, but we're going to see, again, with maxed combat, you know, if we can kill it with just a mithril sword and some steel armor. So I will use our private lever. We'll go in here like usual, top off on everything, and we will see how long this takes with just a mithril sword. I'm curious to see how much we're actually going to get hit with our steel armor. I mean, we do have our anti-fire on and our anti-dragon fire shield, but our armor is starting to look a lot worse. So I'll speed it up and we can compare the time to kill and also the amount of food that we ate. So I'll see you in a sec. Alright, now we're starting to get to the end of the kill here. Honestly, not bad at all. Like, yeah, it took longer, but you eat a little bit of food and maybe a little bit of restore and you get it done. I mean, it's about what I thought. We got hit a little bit more often than usual. As you see, the 10 there. You get a little bit more just from, like, the dragon breath in general. I don't think his melee hits attacked me, like, hit me at all. But I mean, other than that, like, not really a challenge at all. This is a really dated boss, but it's a classic. So, yeah, a little over 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 25 seconds for KBD in a mithril sword. I'm gonna go like super bare bones. Like I said, we'll really crank things up for this since it's a pretty easy boss, but I'm going to downgrade even more significantly, and we'll see how long it takes us to get the next kill. Back for kill number 5, we got rid of literally everything except our anti-dragon shield and a couple achievement diary items, literally just for a little bit of prayer bonus. And we brought our mithril sword down to a steel sword, so should be pretty fun just stabbing him to death with a steel sword and constantly getting absolutely smacked in the face, since we have like no armor at all. But you'll see it's literally just our supplies. We have a 133k setup. Looking at the DPS and comparing it to last time, our DPS went down from 1.44 to 0.89. So almost half of what we had last time. This kill is probably going to take like 6 or 7 minutes. Our max hit went down from 23 to 18. And our average time to kill went from about 3 minutes to 4.5 minutes. So I think it's going to be more like a 6-minute kill, maybe like 7, depending on how much we get hit. But super bare bones, I just figured it would be fun to see if we can kill it with just the steel sword. And then I have something in mind for the finale. Let's pull the lever. don't think anyone's in here. I actually didn't check, to be fair. But, run up. I should be praying. And I have a feeling the dragon fire is really going to do a number here. I'm going to have to eat a lot of my food just because of the dragon fire, but I actually didn't even sip it. There we go. Alright, let's see how long this takes. I'm not going to bore you guys with sitting here watching me stab this thing to death for like 6 minutes, but I'll speed it up and then we'll take a look at the time to kill. Alright, we're getting close here. He's got 21 health. This kill honestly almost put me to sleep. I definitely had to eat a lot more, and it wasn't looking good at all in the beginning. Like, I was taking a lot of damage and, like, not hitting at all. I didn't necessarily think I was going to get this kill because of just how much food I was eating at the start, but it turned around pretty good. I started hitting a lot harder, and now he's got, like, 13 health, so it's just a matter of time here. I definitely probably could have dropped, like, 1 or 2 super restores, which is good to note for the next kill. Which hopefully is going to be the final one. I want to see just how far I can push this. But there's only so much you can do because of the fact that it's not all just unavoidable damage. See, like, he's just smacking me right now for no reason. But overall, I mean, it was a lot longer of a kill, but we got it done. And we're looking at a 7-minute kill. My God. So it went from 3.5 minutes to 7 minutes. Exactly. So literally double the kill time, but we killed it with just our dragon fire shield, right? Anti-dragon shield and our steel sword. So not too bad. I'm going to find some sort of goofy fun weapon to use to kill it for hopefully the final kill. And I'll see you there. And we are back for the finale, the final kill. I decided to use a wooden spoon from the chest in Lumbridge basement. It literally is like 36 gold, so I don't know why I'm doing a price check, but for the supplies, we're at 154k, but we just have the wooden spoon and the anti-dragon shield, along with our super anti-fire and our antidote and whatnot. So we're going to compare the DPS from last kill. The max hit actually didn't change that much. We went from an 18 down to a 17, but the DPS and the average time to kill went down significantly. So our DPS was 0.89, which wasn't great, but at least it was more than our measly 0.39. So this kill is going to take forever, especially with getting hit. And then our average time to kill went up from 4.5 minutes to 10.5 minutes. So that's going to be pretty rough as well. But unfortunately, we don't have any mechanics to dodge. We just have to eat when King Black Dragon hits us. So I'm going to pot up down here. I should probably start this before I take any more unnecessary damage. And we're going to get to stabbing him with this wooden spoon, which I think is a hilarious visual from what I can tell. So let's see. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. It's just stabbing him with the wooden spoon. That's goofy as hell. So I'm curious if we're going to be able to deal enough damage. I mean, we had a pretty strong start doing 20 damage already. But I remember last time, or last kill, he can hit pretty hard, and you can go on a pretty bad streak of just not hitting him. So we're going to see if we can hit him more frequently than he can hit us, and if we have enough food to secure the kill here. So I'll speed this up. There's no point in you guys watching me stab him for like 10 minutes, and we'll compare the times and see how we did. Alright, we are closing in on the kill. I have 46 health left and 57 prayer with no supplies remaining. Except my anti-fire, my antidote, but that's not going to help me deal damage. So hopefully we need like... Okay, well now we only need 5 health, but we don't have any food left, so... I wasn't sure if we would get them. It looks like we're probably going to get them now, but we could just go on a streak of just not hitting and die. Come on. I said 5 health. He's been regenerating health too, which has been making this fight a lot harder. But you see, I mean, we don't have supplies left. Come on, kill him. It said 5 health. Come on. I'd really rather not do this over again. Come on. Finish him off. Finish him off, please. Oh my god. Well, at least this is making for a tense finale. Oh, nope, not it yet. I'm gonna flick piety so I don't run out of prayer. Oh, we're gonna run out of prayer. Just hit him. Oh my god. We're definitely gonna die here with it on like 5 HP. He's gonna melee us. Oh my god. We were out of prayer. I totally thought I was gonna die there. We had 9 HP and no prayer left. Holy shit. Alright. 12 minutes and 22 seconds. My god. But we got it done. We got it done. Mainly because we had Sarah Brews in our inventory. So, listen, guys. I know that left a lot to be desired. But it is a boss from 2002. And I thought we'd have a little fun. Just do a little throwback to a simpler time when there was no mechanics. And it was all just a stat contest. So, that's your King Black Dragon done with a wooden spoon. If you enjoyed, leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. Share it with a friend. Leave me a comment saying what boss I should do next. I'll do a fun one next time, I promise. And if you've made it this far, I appreciate you a ton. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Later. Silence fills the arena. Not because the fight concluded, but because I faced it without wavering. Every strike, every moment of danger, tested and survived. No shortcuts, no advantages. Only attention, reaction, and the will to keep standing when everything threatened to drag me under. The KBD fell, not to skill, but to persistence, to refusing to give in, refusing to be rushed, and refusing to break. This wasn't just a fight. It was a measure of control, patience, and the subtle strength that carries you through the impossible. And when the final blow landed, I stepped away, feeling the quiet victory of having withstood it all.